repercussions, and just because you think that nobody knows who you are and what you're saying doesn't mean that people on the other side will not see what it is that you're saying. Because, okay, maybe a month ago, I got on 4chan and I got on their anonymous, well, it's all anonymous, but I got on their cosplay board, CGL, and maybe 2 pages in, what's the first thing I see? Black cosplayers, what do you think of them? Are they doing it right? You know, or Hispanic cosplayers, blah, blah, blah. Let's say as much racist crap as we possibly can. And I'm trying to filter myself because I do curse a lot, so I'm like crap and stuff. Anyway, but so I just got on a little bit and I screen capped a few things that people say, and I was just like, try to roll my eyes. But it does kind of hurt because this kind of thing used to affect me, and I'd be like, well, you know, I can't cosplay because someone said, black people really need to stop cosplaying Asian and white characters. Sorry, but that's how I feel. The whole black cosplay thing really has been played out for way too long. I'm not sure what the person meant by that, but, you know, a character from, whether it be from an anime or a comic book or whatever their skin tone is, it shouldn't matter because, you know, they are not a real character in real life. So why does anybody have to say anything about that?
Yeah, and it's sad, you know, when you go on the internet and you see a cosplayer and like, you know, MLP cosplay, you know, just like they make comments like, oh, or you have somebody that says, you know, like I'm trying to filter myself, but you know, the N-word, moon, Sailor Moon, replacing like sailor with N, the N-word, and then putting moon at the end. I'm just like, are you for real? Like, come on, really? And then, you know, making, you know, jokes like about, you know, that purple drink or something, you know, just to be, they think of it as like them being funny, but it's not funny because some people aren't going to take that as, you know, humor. They're going to take it as, you know, you're being disrespectful, and it's just like, it's not right to say things like that, or to every time, you know, they see a person that's, you know, black or Hispanic cosplaying a character, they feel the need to crack jokes about their race and incorporate it with whoever they're cosplaying. And I see a lot of that on the internet, and it's just snarky, it's tacky, but these people think it's funny. But like I said, they're faceless, they're safe on the internet, they can just say whatever they want on the internet. But you know, you come to a convention, nobody's gonna tell you in your face. But the moment the con's over, oh, best believe it's going to be all over the forums or Tumblr or whatever social network you use. Somebody's going to have a picture of you and with a little, you know, snide comment on the bottom of it.
And, like, it's a shame because, you know, you put something that really upsets me is you put so much time and effort into a costume, you know, whether it be you looking on the internet to find that perfect costume if you want to buy it, or piecing it all together yourself. And you know what's wrong with your costume, regardless of your skin color. That's not a thing, but you know whether if your hair, you know, your wig doesn't match up exactly how you want it, or your shoes aren't perfectly correct. And for someone to go on the internet and say, hey, forget everything, let's, you know, not critique the costume, but the cosplayer themselves and talk about them. You know what's wrong with your costume yourself. You don't need anybody else to tell you what's wrong with your costume, and you don't need anybody to tell you what's wrong with you, because that really does hurt. Like, you know, I had always been afraid, I guess, because I've loved anime and comics and everything else for quite some time, and I had been afraid up until I was in high school to go ahead and pursue it, because I was like, you know, okay, sorry. I was like, I don't see that many dark-skinned characters and things, and that's all I'm limited to. And then I was like, you know, I really need to break myself out of that, because yes, it would be nice to, you know, cosplay Katara or Akora or, you know, Yoruichi or whoever. That is great, but you shouldn't limit yourself to those characters just because they are brown. And so I got over that fear quite some time ago, but more recently in the last year or two, I've been, you know, the target of really, really racist shit. And I'm just like, I don't understand why, you know, anybody has anything to say. Like, the My Little Pony fandom, the bronies, we all know about the bronies, and regardless of how you feel about them, they do have strong feelings about their, you know, horse characters. And so I cosplayed Twilight Sparkle, you know, last year, and I had seen some brown Twilight Sparkle art, and that kind of inspired me. So I was like, I'm going to go ahead and do it. And my headcanon is that, you know, Twilight Sparkle's, you know, a studious little brown girl, so I was like, I'm going to go ahead and do it. Well, first thing I come back, you know, I went to WonderCon last year, I come back on the internet, there's my picture, and I was like, oh, somebody screen capped it and was like, hey, on Ponyboru, all these people have these awful things to say about you. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So I go on, and from there, it kind of went crazy because people reblogged it and things like that. And some people were supporting me on Tumblr and were like, oh, we're so glad that you're doing this. And other people were like, you know what, I do